You know, it's fairly common knowledge that swapping in an aftermarket exhaust system is one of the best ways to get better sound and performance out of an engine. That's why there's so many companies out there building aftermarket exhaust. But it may come as a surprise to you to learn that one of the most cutting-edge companies is probably somebody you've never even heard of. But I bet you've used their products before. If that sounds like a mystery to you, we're going to shed some light on it. Come on. Heartthrob Exhaust was founded by John Forbes in Litchfield, Minnesota in the early 80s, almost by accident, when his wife urged him to take the profits from the shop that he owned and invest in some new equipment.
My wife said, no, you're not buying a new car. Go out and buy a piece of equipment that you can use to make us more money in the shop. And so I went out and bought a pipe bender. I immediately fell in love with that. I saw the profit potential in bending pipe, taking raw materials, making a finished product, and that's what got me started in this business.
After that, it wasn't long before John developed his own mufflers and systems and started selling them to retail giants like J.C. Whitney and Summit Racing as the private label systems that we all grew up putting on our cars and trucks. Now, at this point, it would have been very easy for John to just sit back, keep making his no-name exhaust systems, put the money in the bank, and just ride that gravy train as long as he possibly could. But that is not John Forbes. No, John is constantly building and testing and creating to try to develop the best exhaust components on the market. And that is how Heartthrob Exhaust was born.
That's when I really started making good products, is when I got the water jet, but when I got the dyno, where I could actually prove my ideas that I was creating.
Of course, their legendary glass pack mufflers, which they've continued to improve over the years, still remain one of their biggest sellers.
It's just that we've learned many years ago that we'll get a lot more life out of our glass pack running it over. You get consistency of sound, and you don't get the wrap, and you probably won't get those tickets that you might get if you let up on it.
I don't know what he's talking about with tickets. Hello, sir. We were barely speeding. They're obviously watching very carefully for this. That, and we're driving a bright orange 55 Chevy down the middle of the street. However, they also have their own style of chambered mufflers that not only sound and flow great, but through extensive testing and development, they've managed to eliminate some of the back pressure and droning issues that these mufflers can have. The tubing for their systems is all mandrel bent for smooth, unrestricted flow, great looks, and the proper fit underneath a vehicle. Yeah, now we're getting into the top secret area here, aren't we? And finally, a high-tech water jet cutting system allows them to make custom flanges, brackets, or whatever they want in just a few minutes. Matter of fact, with all this cool equipment around here, you never know what you might find lying around. This is just leftover stuff of things that they have cut. But look at this, man. Wouldn't that make a great taillight bezel? Or a custom exhaust tip or something? Man, this is great. I need to take some of these home. And that's good news if you're a hot rodder or a custom builder, because they have X-pipe kits, H-pipe kits, all kinds of mufflers. They have do-it-yourself header kits, flanges, tubing, hardware, all that stuff that's hard to find. But let's say you're not a custom builder. What if you just want a killer system to bolt into a late model vehicle? Well, Heartthrob can help you there too.
We just bought a 2011 Mustang. We didn't start from the H-pipe back like a lot of the guys did. We actually started right from the cat's back. And we're able to, with that technology we had there, we could actually build that H-pipe all on a 3-inch rather than reuse the existing parts.
And that is one of the main goals at Heartthrob, to be constantly developing systems for newer cars and trucks that not only sound great, but also give noticeable increases in performance too. So you picked up how many horsepower on the Mustang?
We picked up 22 horsepower.
Now, why are you using an H-pipe over the X-pipe?
Because we tested with the X, we only got 6 horsepower with the X. We picked up 48 horsepower on the SRTA Challenger.
Wow, 48 horsepower.
SS Camaro, we picked up a little over 20 horsepower in that.
So, the question is, in a tight economy like this, how does an exhaust company that you've never heard of not only thrive, but set such a high standard of excellence? Simple. Great products and word of mouth, which is why we're telling you about them. Oh, and there is one other thing.
I said, well, 95% of the products I make, no one needs. But 95% of the products I make, people want. And what we do is we create the sound, we create the performance, and we create the image, and that's what they want.